Let's get down to biz
with Ash and Jeff.
This week we are talking about standing out in a recession. And it's a really good time to stand out because there is a lot more going on. In fact, there's a lot more going on than normal. These are tough times, and they're some of the toughest times we've ever seen. There is currency devaluation and fluctuation driving a lot of other things such as increased cost of foreign goods, which is shifting our purchasing behaviour. There are social factors such as rising unemployment and reduced consumer confidence, which is flowing on to a reduction in consumer spending. Petrol prices are really unstable, as are interest rates, and this is causing a lot of concern and confusion. We're shifting away from luxury items and moving down to the value end of the market, where people are playing in retail discounting.
So are we in a recession? Well, if you look at the Australian market, technically no. But you've got to remember that recessions live in the mind of the consumer. So forget what all the advisors are saying and realise that if you ask the average Australian for the real story, they'd tell you that we're definitely in a recession.
But wait, there is some good news. And the good news is that consumer spending can actually increase. As they're shifting away from big ticket items, they are spending it in different things, different areas that perhaps they weren't spending in before. And that's good news for some categories. We know that in previous recessions, things like gambling and alcohol increase. Now that might not necessarily be your business, but even things like McDonald's and fast food options, as people shift away from the more luxury items, they're moving down to different categories and different opportunities. Think about for your business how that might work. There's also other opportunities, such as stealing share. You might be in a really competitive environment where your competitors are battening down the hatches and panicking. This is an opportunity to be strategically strong and use your media to really leverage an advantage.
During times of recession, we're likely to see cheaper ad rates. They tend to slow or even stagnate, compounding the advantages of increased share of voice and creating a lower real cost of advertising.
So what does history tell us about what's likely to happen? Well, there's a few different studies. One of the ones that we really liked was the 1981-82 recession research conducted by McGraw-Hill. Now it was B2B, but it was really clear in its outtake. And what it said is that the businesses that maintained or increased their ad spend not only survived better in the recession, but they absolutely powered the other side of it, with increases up to 256% over similar competitors who'd cut back in times of recession. So our learning is what you want to do is increase your absolute ad spend. But whilst you're doing that, make sure that you maintain your values. It's really important that in times of instability, that consumers still relate to you as the brand equity that you build up over time. Maintain your personality and maintain your values no matter what you're doing.
The broadest but possibly the most rewarding strategy is to innovate. Studies estimate that it now takes an average of 6 months for a competitor to replicate any new product feature. This reaction time is likely to be heavily impeded and resisted during times of recession by competitors. And it's inconsequential if your variants are only short-term or disruptive, or perhaps they're value-driven.
But you don't need to develop new products just because it's a recession. You can actually look at strategic partnerships. Look at brands like McDonald's that now partner with Golden Circle, Nudie, DOWNtoBIS. All those brands have strategic alliances that mean their cost bases of communication are reduced. Even within your own portfolio, there may be opportunities for strategic bundling. And then there's media. As media shifts in a recession, maybe people aren't going to the cinema, they're looking at Foxtel or DVDs. That might have opportunities within itself. So while your other competitors are panicking, why not look for the opportunities to stand out within a recession?
Till next time, guys, stay down to biz.